Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm John.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Sure did. And Greece.
In Greece.
Santorini.
Santorini, Zach, you've been there.
I've been there. It was one of the cruise, and one of the stops was Greece, Mykonos, Santorini, and I loved both. Just so pretty. Like the bluest blue water, and just, the ancient Greece of it all. It's so beautiful. I would definitely go there.
While they were showing Santorini, all I could think of was the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
I never saw that movie, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe. I don't recall it, though.
I think the only reason I saw it is because I got movies for free and I traveled for work a lot. So I watched it like in South Dakota somewhere. I don't know. But let's do this whole business part right here where I thank people for finding us.
Are you going to thank people for finding us every episode?
Not every episode, but, I think it's worth mentioning.
We skip it for Beverly Hills.
Okay, we'll give that a try. But for everyone who just found us, I'm going to thank you for finding us. And please like and subscribe. Follow us on social media, Husbands Watching Housewives, and Husbands Watching at TikTok and Twitter. Not that we tweet or X very often. But either way, thanks for finding us. We're glad to have you here. We are two husbands. We watch Housewives, and we talk about it. So that's what we're doing here. Eventually, we'll get to the episode, right?
Yeah. You said you were going to talk about some work thing.
Our company's holiday party is this week, and usually leading up to that, every year leading up to that, we have some sort of management conference where basically all the the home office and all the managers get together and we sit through some sort of inspirational speech sort of thing. But like the last 3 years, it's been like a leadership seminar, like trying to restructure the what's the word, culture of the company and everything. And so it's just been it was interesting when it started. I was really enthusiastic about it, yay, the company is going to really define how we do things. And it's just been going on for so long now that I'm just are we done with this yet?
I was going to say, I feel like it's what we do every year. And it's how they not define this culture yet?
It's been defined. They're just still disseminating it and trying to really, really drive it home. And they keep introducing little bits and pieces of it to be followed through with for the rest of the year or through the upcoming year. But by now feels like it's been forever and no one's really practicing what we're learning. And it's just I just want to get this over with. And so tomorrow I have to spend all day in this conference, trying to drink the Kool-Aid, but really just not being thirsty at all.
They should hire Matt Rogers and Bowen Yang so they could define the culture.
It would be good. I would love them to define culture for us.
Seriously.
I would love it. No, just the thing is I'm a very enthusiastic about the company I work for. And I'm a very enthusiastic, I just think about work in general, and I like it to be a nice, organized way. And it's just weird and kind of disheartening for me. Although after 25 years of being there, I'm just kind of can we get on with the work part of it now? And stop pretending that all this is going to happen a certain way. But I'm trying to remain enthusiastic. I'm trying, and it's just difficult. It's probably why I'm enjoying all those TikToks about the sexual harassment training, because it's always just the thing you hear, and then the ridiculousness behind it. But I know it wasn't the most exciting story, but it's what's happening in my life. Anything happening in yours?
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Work-wise, no, it's okay.
Fair enough. Let's talk about. We could talk about my holiday party that's coming up, where it's going to be 40 degrees, and we're doing a Hawaiian luau theme. That's going to be wonderful.
We'll get the whole lowdown on the Potomac episode, or actually Beverly Hills, because we need to leave Beverly Hills because we had your party on Thursday. So
we'll get it on Friday. Don't worry.
Yeah.
So maybe we'll do it early Friday morning before work.
Maybe if we're feeling it.
Yeah. But meanwhile, back in Salt.
Right. Or Santorini.
Yes. It started off with them just getting to the airport, right?
Well, it was a little comedy of let's meet with Angie's on and learn Greek words for and Housewives term and whatever, fast forward past that. Yes, they get on a plane. There's no incidents on the plane
that we know of. Just speaking of,
right?
Did we see Meredith on the plane? Did they even show her?
She was at the
airport, but they didn't.
There's so many of them, and they, I just
I
can't always focus on everything.
I know this is like so like hyper focused on the whole incident on their return from the boat and everything, but I'm wondering, I did wonder while watching this, does Meredith like have it in her contract that she doesn't like she can't be filmed while in transit or something?
In transit.
I want to go back and see if we've ever seen her fly. I'm sure we have. I'm sure I'm making this all up in my head just to fit a narrative that I want it to fit. But it's like that would explain why they can't show any footage.
She's like, planes are my safe place. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
These aligners. Planes are my safe space. I am so Cindy Brady with these aligners sometimes.
What was the thing Cindy Brady had to say? What was the... there was a phrase. It was the...
Baby talk, baby talk. It's the one that you can watch.
That's what they said to her.
Yes.
But I can't remember. There was a doll she had that...
Wetsuit?
No, there's a different doll that she would list when she said, so I can't remember what it is.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
I will say that on Google it later, and we know full well we will forget about it the minute we click stop on this episode. So, yes, they get safe space. Meredith, yeah.
So we get to Santorini, and it's so funny how, like, normally it's like, let's go to the place we're staying at. They were like, no, let's go straight to dinner with no makeup. Like, no one had a stitch of makeup on because they've been traveling. I don't know how long it takes to get to Greece, because we flew to Italy where we got the boat, and then we took the boat to Greece.
You know, in my mind, I've never been to Greece. I've only been to, a certain part of Europe. But I would just envision, with California being such a big state, I always imagine that Europe in general is probably the size of California, like top to bottom and everything. Are you coming on my lap, kitty? What are you doing?
He likes to just be like, hi, claw.
Yes, and when you're wearing, you're not wearing jeans.
Yeah,
the most painful claw.
Have their dungarees on.
For those of you not watching, our cat just tried to jump up my lap, but then thought better of it.
You're not wearing dungarees.
Thanks, Alston. What was I saying? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I imagine it's the size of California. So I can't imagine that if it takes it takes 10 hours to fly from California to Europe, right? To Italy or France.
It went from Utah to probably New York,
probably
Greece.
Yeah. So I can't imagine that it's that much longer of a flight than you experienced from California. So
that's true, because we had to fly it from there to New York to, anyways.
But we're jet lagged and everything, and it's
totally.
A long day.
Yeah, but it's like, let's go straight to the food. So, it was, let's go straight to an argument about the dumbest thing a Cartier watch.
Oh, that was funny though.
It was just like, you could tell Lisa was like, I'm bothered by this.
I mean, it did bother me because it was definitely, for Heather to bring it up when she didn't have to was definitely petty. But it was all just to make, I guess, her little joke about having bought 2 Cartier watches.
It was the logo and all. It's like, I bought one, and so did Whitney, and they put out their ribs. And that was pretty funny. Yeah.
And I enjoy that they were ribbing her for it, and Lisa didn't get completely butthurt and didn't overreact or anything. It was like, okay, cool,
Yeah, they definitely were laughing by the end of it. But like the fact that they had a previous fight off camera about the Cartier and who had it first, and like Angie's like bringing out Facebook receipts. And my thing is, like, I just don't want it to be like giving people who are at least fans of what they want to like see. They get like focus on Lisa, like the pettiest things. They want to all be Lisa, like she's always a storyline. And it's like, to a certain degree, yes, she is this. God, I can rip these off. Yes, she is the storyline, but there's more things to talk about. They just like are very irritated by her, and I think definitely the whole showing up 3 hours late as they get further into the trip when they go out to dinner, towards the end, that would annoy me. And just like, I'm going to be in glam, I can't,
Right, I can't be bothered to be with the people I'm here with. That's, I think, what was bugging me the most.
Exactly.
So the whole thing, I had a point, and I totally know. I'm trying to hold space in my head for everything else that happened. That there's details that I'm just letting go right out because I'm like, I don't want to forget later on.
It's like the Meredith and Heather at all.
No, it was the it was more about Lisa and the whole competitiveness of.
Oh right, I have 4 Porsches. I have 5.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily that Lisa's the storyline, or that they keep talking about Lisa. It's that Lisa makes it about herself and like says things that are just like so weird. Like, especially if they all have money, they all, are affluent and can buy whatever they want. So for Lisa to be like, oh, you're just copying me. Now, if she was joking about it, like, twinsies.
Yeah, you're
okay, and they're making a big deal out of it, then yeah, that's really stupid. But if Lisa's someone, and I take her to be this sort of someone who's walking around being like, saying, she lives a different life than everyone else. Those sorts of comments are just strange. And so for her to be like, you're just copying me, like I wear Cartier first. And it's like, who's keeping track of, which adult keeps track of this stuff? Why would you even say that? So in that case, it's funny that they're bringing it up. But would I spend $6,000 on a joke? Would I even spend $100 on a joke?
Probably. I was like, oh, it's just 6,000. I know that they are of means, but just 6,000 in this economy is not just $6,000.
Yeah. And then the ensuing kind of back and forth between Angie and Lisa about the different things that they own, it does feel a little insensitive just to be like, oh yeah, well, I had 4 Porsches. Well, I had 5 Porsches.
At this time, yeah.
Yeah. And just on top, and then was it Heather as well in her confessional, or was it Lisa who was just like saying, oh, we don't care about, someone said something kind of flippant about the fact that they had money. And I can't remember exactly what it was.
I mean, it could have been Lisa.
I'll look it up.
Yeah.
So anyway, we should move on.
Yeah.
Yes. You okay?
No, I'm fine. I started getting a little tired. For a second, I'm fine.
We're going to have to throw this water at you.
No,
wake up.
I will wait.
Wake up, Jeff. Jeff, wake up.
What was that?
Stranger Things. Chrissy, wake up. Remember that?
Oh. No.
Anyways. What happened next?
They get to the villa. We don't see it until the next day. It seems fine, except for slippery. I am spitting with the aligners. It's slippery steps.
Yeah, I mean, I think because they're going for that kind of, an all natural kind of terracotta looking everything, and everything's just all earthy. The steps are just poured slick concrete, from what I can tell, and they're all wearing probably slides and things like that. So they're, not doing too well on those stairs. They did that. It was weird that they didn't make a big deal over the accommodations.
Room assignments. Yeah. Normally it's such a huge deal. Let's take the tour, and maybe, it might be a nice place, but nothing like insanely over the top that they would want to do a whole not realistic porn, but trip vacation porn.
Yeah, it does.
They normally would.
It does seem that it was fairly reasonable, and also the view and everything else seems to be the bigger attraction.
Right.
And I think also I get a feeling when they're sharing rooms that maybe they don't want to flaunt the place. The fact that Heather and Whitney are staying in the same room, and I don't know.
They always do. They're Alzamona and Sonia.
Yeah, probably. So they then go to the beach at that point.
Yeah, the next day is
the black sand beach.
Yes,
that was pretty.
That was pretty. Everybody was pretty.
Yeah.
It gets glam done.
Oh yeah. So her getting glam done, I don't know. It wasn't until later that she's late for the glam.
Well, but she's getting glam
in the morning.
In the morning.
Okay,
they're all
right.
The thing is, why can't you do your own makeup? You've been doing makeup for so long. You haven't picked up any tricks that you can just do a basic face.
Right.
To go to the beach. I know you're on camera, but it just seems so whatever.
Yeah. And it just doesn't seem, also, why does it take that long? Is she...
she's not getting made up for the reunion.
Right. Exactly.
It should just be a pretty face. It shouldn't... I'm not trying to diss this glam lady, but I'm girl, let's work it out faster.
I mean, I think as men, who don't wear makeup, we don't really know the ins and outs of it. So I'm sure it can be harder than, it's definitely harder than we're making it out to be. But at the same time, you always hear about oh, I want a nice breezy beach look.
Yeah.
Isn't that enough? You're going to the beach. Did she just get a full beat just as though she was going to be on a stage?
It was a full beat when they showed her. She was definitely full beat.
And then she's bragging, I get glam all the time at home. Just
And the girl's great. And then I do think, even though we're making fun of her, that comment from Heather, I think was a little harsh when she's how widely insecure Lisa is. like confidence and the confidence and insecurity like running neck and neck. That's like, oh, that's, you know.
I thought it was a bunch of bullshit that later on when so just fast forwarding to the fact that they go out to dinner later in the episode, and instead of going out with them when everyone leaves to go shopping and then to dinner, Lisa's just like nonchalantly getting her glam done again and like, all right, I'll see you later
for me time.
Yeah. And everyone immediately turned into this whole like, oh, well, you know, how vain of her, how inappropriate, you know, we're in this beautiful place and she'd rather focus on materialistic things and like her appearance. And it's like, are you not watching the same show that we're watching? Like, I'm not saying y'all are like that, but that's what the show is about, is wealth and appearances.
Vapid people.
And that's what people, well, not necessarily vapid people, but it's just
some are.
Yes, but people watch to see the glamorousness and the beauty and the fashion.
I mean, I think Lisa can be very vapid. I think she cares a lot about, and I don't know, I'm not going to judge on like insecurity or whatever. I just think it's really kind of ridiculous to care so much. Even being on a show, I think if she wasn't on the show, she would still get glammed on every day and care so much, put so much importance on how she looks. And it's just kind of like, well,
it's one thing to have pride in how you look, but it's one thing to like put everything into how you look.
Yeah.
And I mean, you can tell I don't do much of either, but you know, I take pride in how I look. If I was more concerned about
there's pride and there's like extreme vanity. So
now, I mean, I'm just trying to find a delicate way to say this. You can tell Lisa's skin is very uneven.
Like, that wasn't delicate.
Well, no, but I mean, she has splotchy, uneven skin. Like when she was eating dinner before in the first night, you could see she had a minimal amount of makeup on. And so it, you know, if that's something that she is insecure about, something that she does not want to present, you know, to the world without a camera, then definitely I can see going on TV. It's very important that she does that. But it does make me wonder, and this is the indelicate part, like how bad is it really? I'm curious about it. Like,
it's only to watch what happens game.
What's that?
How bad is it really?
Yes. No, but like if she's that concerned with it and that insecure about it, like if you were to see her with zero makeup at all, what would we see? And you know, even if let's say she just had, you know, skin damage and acne and all sorts of scars, you know, I'm curious, you know, how much time does that take to make up and make it look even and perfect? And maybe that's part of the problem. I don't know.
That's a tight rope you're walking.
I know, but I do feel like we've seen Lisa in various instances throughout the years with less makeup on than we've seen her today. And I don't think it was...
Well, and also people care more and put on more makeup. It's like a full beat is really important these days as opposed to like season one. There are times that like Jen Shaw will wear like an extremes like beat.
Right.
But yeah. So yeah, I do wonder though about the time. That's a good point, you know.
Yeah, if that's what takes so long, is that there's just a lot to, you know, get right.
Accomplish.
Yes. Yes. Thin.
But, you know, regardless, makeup or not, like she is, like she shouldn't, but again, this is me saying, like, you shouldn't think you're just such a pretty face. You shouldn't worry about that. That is her body and that is her appearance. I think it's vain and a wee bit vapid, but that's what she focuses on. So, okay, I'm going to judge a little bit, but also I got some understanding.
Why don't you just tell her to smile more? She'll be prettier when she smiles more. Gosh, Jeff. You care to mansplain something for us?
Down the list.
While we're still talking about Lisa, though, I do think it's kind of bullshit that she didn't just say or text or message that, hey, look, I'm running late. I'm going to get my makeup done, and then I'm going to walk over and spend some time by myself. The fact that she kind of strolls up on them and tries like nonchalantly go, hey, everybody, and expecting them to not be irritated that she was late. And then, you know, to sit there and not want to. She wasn't like overtly not wanting to participate with them and like the oohing and the awing of the view or anything. She was definitely like, oh, I saw the view. But even that was competitive. Oh, I saw the sunset. And it's like, well, okay, but you weren't with us. Like the whole point was we wanted everyone to be here.
Yeah.
But that in and of itself feels really like bullshit too. Like Angie does seem to be very like, yay, we're all in Greece. I'm glad we're all here together. But how glad are they that they're all really there? And does she need to have Lisa Barlow with her? Like, she didn't seem to be upset that Meredith and Bronwyn and Mary were out shopping while they were watching the sunset. You know? So why get pissed off at
That's true.
You know?
That's a good point.
But
both sides.
Yeah. But also, I've been the Angie of it all, where I would, you know, when I used to take trips with friends, like Vegas, for instance, I wanted everyone to be up and go out and do the things so we could all experience this together. And I've just had years now of dealing with people. Well, I'm going to sleep late, and like I'm not to waste my day because you're sleeping, so you can do whatever the hell you want. Yeah. So Lisa, if you want to wander out by yourself, wander out by yourself.
Let her.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm a Mel Robbins. Should we start doing Mel Robbins watches Housewives?
That's all I really know. Just let them.
I think that's really the gist of it. We just apply
There's got to be more to it.
Let them theories.
More books and whatnot.
You know, Heather wants to hold a grudge, let her. Meredith wants to not engage, let her.
Yes. Yeah, I am done with Lisa. Let's go. So at the beach, I thought it was really weird that Angie, she was trying to make something happen. I don't know why she was. It's not like something else came out about Todd recently. But for her to just be like, so Bronwyn, you're looking for guys here too in Greece? It's like, there are a few things. One, it was an awkward way to stir the pot. Two, why are you directing this at Bronwyn? You don't have an issue with Bronwyn. You're just being unnecessarily shady.
Mm-hmm.
Three, Bronwyn made it a bigger deal than it needed to be. She could have been like, what are you talking about? That's so dumb. No, I've got Todd. And then when they said, well, we thought you were having issues, she could say, that was then, this is now.
Right.
So yes, it's like, you know, when you have a friend who's dating some guy and they're on the outs and she's like, he's the worst thing ever. And you're like, yeah, he is the worst thing ever. And next time you see her and they're fine and you're like, he's the worst thing ever. And she's like, whoa, that's my man. That was what was happening.
Yeah, like Brittany and Jared.
Right, exactly.
I mean, Bronwyn should have experience with that from the Brittany and Jared activities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, I think the open marriage of it all is something that she had a conversation with Whitney, really sharing and having, you know, a bonding moment of like, you know, what does this look like? And we were dating older men, and maybe down the road there wouldn't be an open situation. But for Angie to joke about it, it was kind of like, it was a clunker. But she could have handled it better to get off it easy.
Yeah, I agree. It was a clunker.
And when you have Mary saying to you, like, Bronwyn, you said this one thing to us here, and now you're saying another thing here, you have to see why we would be confused because it's not consistent. You know, then Bronwyn would say, yes, I'm sorry that it must be confusing, but things can sometimes be up and down with Todd. You know, you're married too. You're not, it's not always whatever. So, but she got really butthurt really quick, which makes one believe that like it's still a little too close to home.
Yeah.
And she's upset that, you know, being reminded of it. And she probably got talking to by Todd for sharing stuff about him on camp.
Probably. It makes me wonder as well, like, because clearly she was lying, and, you know,
Clearly.
It looked kind of familiar to when she was lying about the necklace at the reunion. And like, it's kind of the way she backpedals to try and make things.
And it's like, it's not like gaslighting, but it's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And she does that shit. No, everything's fine with Todd.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to be so nonchalant. Of course I bought that necklace. And that's like, no, that's not what happened.
And then even Meredith, you know, steps up to say, like, look, I wasn't there. I don't know what you're talking about. But I know that when you bring things up to this, you know, group, they're not going to just let it go. They're going to remember the things that you said. And so it's not going to help you to play ignorant, you know, basically.
Yeah, it's not like you really want to be friends, you know, is like being your friend is like sharing bad times and then sharing good times and being like, you know what, for all that was like 2 weeks ago, but now we're okay. We're making things worse.
So you're saying in good times and in bad times, I'll be on your side forevermore?
Yeah.
And that's what friends are for?
Obviously, behind.
All right, just making sure.
Like, Ron was so Dion that it hurts. Ellen would be more so Dion. Ron would be like Gladys or Ellen Dawn. She'd be Ellen Dawn.
All right.
And Angie could be Gladys. And
for the rest of just the Pips.
No, it's Pips. It's the original song was Dionne Warwick, Elton John, Gladys Knight, and Stevie Wonder.
Oh, I didn't realize. I always thought it was just Gladys.
That was the fourth one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because this is like after Gladys stopped Pippin. I think.
Pippin ain't easy.
God. Anywho, I love That's What Friends Are For. It's on my Spotify playlist. It's so good. And that's why I am the rap age of 66 on Spotify.
I love my 66-year-old husband.
It's great.
He's the best. Sometimes I like him even better than my 45-year-old husband. No, I'm
46.
Oh, well.
I just realized that.
That you know of. I don't even know what that means.
Spotify thinks I'm 20 years older than I am. That's so funny. I just map that. Yeah.
So, we've talked about Bronwyn. That was really only Bronwyn's own.
She got over by the next time you see them.
It really then turns into the
Meredith Heather show.
Right.
I don't understand this. Like Heather dodging Meredith. Meredith wants to make peace, whether it be off camera or on camera. And Heather's like, no, can't talk.
Yeah. I mean, it does seem strange. I mean, that you'd have to take it at face value that Heather really just doesn't want to deal with it. Like Heather is just not ready to talk about it because she just thinks it's going to be a difficult thing. Or like you said, because I thought it was strange that it seemed to me that Meredith talked to Heather on the bus, knowing she'd already reached out to Heather and Heather turned her down. And so she thought, okay, I'll ask her now. Can we talk about something later? And she won't reply to me and I'll be off. We won't have to talk about it. I'll be able to say, well, I tried.
Right.
You didn't want to talk. But I think that's not necessarily the case. I think you might have been right in the fact that Heather wanted it to be on camera. That she wouldn't have replied or, talked to Meredith unless it was on camera or around the entire rest of the group. Because that's kind of what Heather led on to someone else she's talking about, is that to Mary, is that Meredith is just going to go ahead and deflect everything and then make Heather feel like she's crazy. Whereas if I think the other women around, she'll have more support like she did get from Whitney and even to an extent from,
And it's on tape. It's like, it happened. It's been recorded,
But we make it seem as though had they talked last week, that it wouldn't have been on tape. I mean, it probably would have been filmed as well.
I think she called her, so it would have been more so an in-person thing about, let's really talk about, because they really did need to have a conversation of Meredith straight up calling her a liar and making Heather feel bad and gaslighting her in terms of and Lisa helping with the gaslighting.
Yeah. Well, how awful was it when it finally starts to be brought up at dinner and Meredith is just like, I'm not going to talk about this in a group. And she's like,
she was pissed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's, I would have been so mad if I was Heather. And it's like, well, let's talk about it. No, this isn't how I want to talk about it. And it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Again.
I see Meredith's side of things of why couldn't you have given me the respect as a friend to have this conversation when I reached out to you originally? Why now are you making the group thing where I would be a little bit irked too? Even though I believe that Meredith is the problem, as in she started the problem by gaslighting and doing the bad behavior to begin with.
Right.
Whitney says not just Whitney, because I do. Whitney was right. Meredith is the problem.
Yeah.
And it's causing this fallout for everybody else.
And it's all because she just won't or can't or can, she won't, she not admit to being the instigator of all this.
Right. And just saying I flipped out. I was really upset about what happened, both on the boat. I was ruminating on it, and then it just blew up on the plane.
Right.
She doesn't have to admit to everything, just I messed up. Because the only thing she's willing to admit is that maybe I shouldn't have vented so loudly to my friends that Brittany heard me.
Right.
That's crazy.
And now she's falling back on, well, Brittany and I are fine, which it's
Brittany didn't say a damn word this entire trip, which is really unlike her.
Right.
I don't know who told her to shut up, but it's the Oprah thing. Were you silent or were you silenced?
Well, someone probably looked at that horrible suit she was wearing to dinner and was like, hey, you don't have any room to talk.
It was a cheap suit. It was bad.
It looked vinyl and somehow...
It was not...
Yeah.
It was made of material that was highly flammable.
I know.
Highly.
I think it was meant to look like maybe it was some sort of snakeskin tapestry sort of thing. But it was weird.
It was very weird.
And it was odd colors and I just didn't did not.
But at least she like got sleeves and was like, thinking ahead that it's gonna be chilly.
Yeah, it did. It's like so windy and so cold there.
So yeah. I went in the summer when it was like totally fine and very warm, but I can't imagine.
It had to have been March, I think, by now. If it was like January when they were camping, that was 3 months before, they said.
Mm-hmm.
So, man, anyway.
Well, we were like right after the reunion was shot, so.
Oh. Maybe.
I
can never get the timelines right.
Same.
I feel like if I were to like get a notebook and like keep track of these things, I could go back and like
it's like almost
piece it together.
Yeah, it's almost as bad as like Secret Lives and Normal Lives.
Yeah,
and where are we? What's happening? I was gonna say something else about like Mary trying to like get Heather and Meredith to like just talk.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Like, Heather came to her and she's like, just say it. Say it to her face. Like Meredith is being such a voice of reason. Like just say it. Like you have an issue, just say it. But I think Heather was thinking, I can do that, but she's not going. She's going to stoneball me.
Right.
At this point, Meredith is not doing anything. I really wonder if after reunion she ended any wrongdoing. I would be really curious about.
I'd be surprised
because if she didn't, then it's like, whoa, you are
sticking to your story for certain.
But of course.
Yeah. I mean, I think they're both being kind of silly about it, but at the same time, I sympathize much more with Heather's side of things because it is infuriating when someone has done something in denying that they're doing it. When you're like, I know with my own 2 eyes, I saw you do it, and you're going to sit here and continue. And then even it comes down to Heather now at this point saying, like, it's backing up. You won't even let me feel the way that I'm feeling. I'm trying to tell you how you made me feel. And every time I do, you're telling me I'm wrong for feeling that way.
Right. She did call her a liar. Like she said, you lie. So she might have said, like, she didn't say like you're a habitual liar, Heather, whatever, or you're, but like she
said you're lying about this situation.
Yeah.
You're making something up.
And that hurt Heather's feelings.
And then now when she's saying, I'm hurt over the fact that like you won't even acknowledge that you said this, like now it's even worse because you're telling me I'm making up that you said that.
But then it's like the Hurt Olympics because of, Meredith's like, well, I was hurt. And then, at least, and when Heather's like, well, I was too. And then like in comes Lisa out of nowhere.
Lisa needed to know.
That was so annoying. And then I literally was like, are you kidding me? Like it's between Meredith and Heather. Yes, it should not be in front of the group because this is what happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Lisa Barlow's saying like, well, I was hurt when you said da-da-da and you were bitchy to me at Vultures. And then like Meredith or Heather just like turns focus and like, you're right. I mean to apologize to you. No. And then Heather and then Lisa with her like fake crying every damn time. Show me the tear.
I know.
Show me the tear. Meanwhile, what is like, hold my beer. Boo-hoo. Boo-hoo. Well, this is how you can cry, Lisa Barlow.
But I do feel like Heather may have turned her attention to show Lisa, look, you are right. I did do that. So she could have turned around in a moment and said, see, Meredith, that's how you do it.
I'm giving her an apology.
Right.
Because I had over one, and I'm being sincere about it.
And I'm not, I'm not trying to distract. I'm not deflecting. I'm not whatabouting. I'm not looking to your behavior to justify mine. I'm owning up to what I did.
Meredith was fuming. Like, she was so mad that she couldn't even say 2 words. Like, she was like, that's not how I remember it. And I'm now, she literally disengaged.
Yeah.
So hardcore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's such an attorney.
It was such an attorney way. Well, I could, I did. And then this could be, like, it's so. She won't land the plane because then she'd have to admit something. So it's like, let me fly around for a bit until I run out of gas.
And people forget that there's a plane in the sky. Yeah. It's I'm trying to put irritating and aggravating together.
I was like irrigating. I'm like,
yes.
She watering?
That's what my mouth was trying to say was irrigating. And I'm like, that's not right.
No.
Why am I trying to say irrigating? Irritating and aggravating.
Yes.
That's what irrigating is, apparently. It's not watering a field.
It's not watering a field.
So, yeah, I mean, I hope next week they don't just sweep this under the rug. I mean, they can't, but the clips they showed didn't really give me much hope that next week.
Well, it shifts from Meredith is now pissed at Whitney. By the way, we have to talk about Whitney falling down. Oh my gosh. I love when people fall down. I
Yes.
really do. No, I don't love them to be her. I just love it. It's just so funny. And she just like realized it was happening. And she's just like, oh my gosh, I'm falling. And then some like random man is like, let me help you, miss. And as she almost slides down the hill, I want to see a shot of like the hill she could have slid down. Because like, Brittany was making it seem like it was like a cliff.
It did seem like it was maybe like a boat launch or some sort of like kind of gravel path down to the water or something. But had she slid down that hill, she would have gone on a hill and Hey-o.
As Meredith said, we're all making, give her a pass for her hilling journey.
See, and again, so that's what's bullshit too, is that, okay, so just because Whitney gets all these passes doesn't give you the right to have a pass. Be the change you want to see in the world.
Right.
If you don't want people to keep sliding on stuff, own up to what you did, and then next time they have to own up to theirs, and you can say, I don't give a shit about what kind of healing journey you're on. I care about how you made me feel. And you can disarm Whitney's excuse. But if you're going to go ahead and continue to deflect and rely on, your stoic behavior, then Whitney gets to do it too. Gets to have her crutch. So
you're right. You're the bigger person, but I think she thinks she is being mad. It's so Meredith makes everything so well when it doesn't need to be, and that's what irritates me about her. I think people love like this delusion of hers or whatever, but I just am confused by it and annoyed by it because it's not being straightforward, and then blaming others for the issues that you created is just so infuriating.
I think I think people like the kind of royal or regal kind of air she maintains about herself. And I think when she's being deceptive or she's being, not even deceptive, when she's being...
Manipulative?
Yeah, I think it's a little too fake. I think when she's just kind of being herself and like, I'm at dinner and like, I'm going to talk all funny, then it's cool. I think I kind of, okay, I like the image she's putting on. But when she's hiding behind it, that's what I'm just kind of like, no, I'm not buying this.
It was odd how like low key and laid back she was up until that dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Like she was like laughing at things, like
they all were.
Yeah, there was a really like, hey, we're just having fun, which is good because you need like that balance. It can't be just like pure hell. OC. But and then it's like flipped and she was like, nope, not doing this.
Yeah, I don't know. But next week, I'm not looking forward to it being about Whitney and Meredith. I still want I'm sure Heather will jump in there at some point. Lisa won't be able to help but interject herself. Right.
But here's the thing, even if like Whitney does apologize for saying like you're a pill popper, you're an alcoholic, and I said it in anger, but that's not an excuse. So, I apologize. Meredith is not going to give her the same grace at all. No. So again, I can't do, if you're not going to give me anything, why should I give you anything?
Be the bigger person, Jeff.
I know. It's really hard. It's really hard to go high. Really is.
Do we think we're going to get anything out of Brittany or Angie or Bronwyn really?
Bronwyn was pretty quiet. Aside from that moment on the beach, she was pretty quiet. And like at dinner, she was like, not my fight. I'm gonna sit here.
That was kind of nice though. That she was like, "Oh, I'm here for it." She had that confessional where she's like, "You know what? I'm here for all this." Like, I don't.
Well, the petty part, but the area stuff. But when it got like deep with like I don't know, and Meredith, she was just like, like gave good face. And Brittany was like, I'm not getting in this. Like when Meredith was trying to say, "We're good, right?" She's like,
I do like that Heather, I'm sure maybe they said something we just didn't see it. I do like that Heather at least recognized that, and this one here is not going to say anything because she doesn't want to make anything worse.
And I think other people will also say, like, what's it to you, Heather? Like, Brittany's okay, but like, she's basically like, I'm pissed on Brittany's behalf, but also for being called a liar. So,
and again, it's just, it's also the thing that like, they all saw something happen that Meredith is telling them did not happen.
Yeah.
And won't even, and again, Meredith doesn't even have to admit that all of it happened. All she has to say is, you're right, I may have gotten a little carried away. Brittany and I took care of it. I'd like to move forward. But she won't even say that. She wants to control the situation, get Heather into a place where she can, get one-on-one with her so that, later on, my guess is...
the submission.
That's one of my thoughts. But also, so later on, if Heather tells the story differently, she can go ahead and say, that's not what happened, and continue to try to gaslight her again on a different subject. So it just...
But it really has caused so many problems, the fact that she won't admit to the plain thing. And she is the problem.
Yeah.
Whitney is right.
They started talking about the TikTok that started it all. I thought that was going to get a little bit more,
Yeah, it's like you're going a little bit too far back. But I mean, that was the catalyst.
Yeah.
I mean,
and what did someone bring up? The marriage, and how I don't know.
that was part of it. Like, Brittany, I'd say names wrong all night. Brittany saying, I'm concerned about your marriage because I'm thinking someone saying they had the affair with Seth on TikTok. So if she hadn't said that, I really wonder where we would be.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously that thing on the plane wouldn't have happened. I wonder if anybody else would have brought up the TikTok video. Probably not, because there's so much gossipy bullshit on TikTok that you can't look at everything. And that's why it was messy of Brittany to be like, this thing that everyone's talking about, I saw everyone knows about it. Yeah, everyone knows about it because you found it. You searched for shit about Meredith Marks and you found something and you looped Whitney in, and then you brought it up when you got pissed at Meredith at the table, and here we are.
Yeah, they should be blaming Brittany.
It really is her fault.
You know what? Justice for Meredith.
They both, Brittany kicked the ball or threw the ball.
There's an analogy. As we know, we shouldn't be using analogies.
Sports ball. Yeah.
Well, I think we've covered most everything, right? And Mary was just there to be Mary. That was nice.
She was really level-headed.
Yeah.
Was the reason.
Her outfit was amazing. Her kind of flowy Greek.
Yes.
That was nice.
Yeah. And she had a visor on at one point. Angie, I think, giving a good trip.
Yeah.
The petty stuff with Lisa, whatever.
I liked it. It was fine.
Yeah. I really think that she has, again, not fallen off, but there's not as much drama. Even she couldn't really even muster up. You can't really make up enough of a fight about a watch.
Right.
Well,
next week she has the thing with Brittany, I think, about trademarking the hair.
Oh, the high-body
hair. So maybe that'll go somewhere.
Didn't she do something about... Oh, she had T-shirts at BravoCon, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think she has a hairline or something.
Well, she has a salon.
Yeah, I think so. I think she has a product she's calling High Body Count Hair or something. That's what I think what the registered trademark thing is about.
Got it.
So, I don't know. But, yeah. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
And actually, it was better than the premiere of Beverly Hills, I'd say.
I like the premiere of Beverly Hills.
I enjoyed it, but I think...
It's apples and oranges. These are two different...
I think it's snowflakes and diamonds, actually.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a joke I was going to make earlier. When Whitney fell down and that guy helped him up, if that was Roni and that was any of the cast, they would have been like, did you get his number? Oh, did you bring the Greek boy home with you? Oh.
You're doing a Luann voice?
That was Luann and Snagglepuss apparently at the same time. Exit, stage left, stage right even.
I like the fall would still be happening. It's just boring. Somebody would be like, wait a second. And her whole everything would be out. And she'd be climbing up that hill Jennifer Tilly in the trailer.
Yeah. If it was Dorinda, her hair would suddenly be parted the other direction. And you don't know how, just from falling down, and that happened, but it did all the time.
Oh, I gotta watch that. Oh, that's made a great gif about that. I love falling down.
On that note, we should talk about this next time.
Until next time.